into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
This episode definitely was literally running with several devils, it felt like. Welcome everybody to AFTERBUZZ TV. You are tuning in for episode 2 of Wicked City called Running with the Devil. Oh, shocker. Based on the song, right?
Pasadena's own, Van Halen.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm with you once again. My name is Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos. Monse spelled M-O-N-S-E. To my left, Susannah Kim.
Hello, I'm Susannah Kim. Follow me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim.
And across from us, two awesome ladies. First, we have
Alina Vision. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alina Vision.
We also have
Tamra Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at Brown Tamra, Tamra.
Yes, I do like this song.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's getting me in the mood.
Right? I forgot where we were here for. I was like, where are the drinks?
Everyone's loving this song. Something I was reading today was like, I hope they put out a soundtrack for Wicked City. People are loving the music.
Yeah, a lot of people love it.
And that's what's going on because the ratings actually dropped for them. I mean, they were at a 0.9 last week and they went down to a 0.7, which, I mean, it's pretty low, but
dropped by 22%.
Yeah, like it was already low. It's like, how much was that really? I mean, might as well keep going. Like, don't stop, because I want to know what happens.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like, please don't stop. At least for the 4 of us, just don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. We will be here.
We'll keep talking about
We
it.
will. Nobody has to listen to us. But I was very shocked with this episode's turn of events.
Yeah.
How did
Yes.
you ladies
I
feel?
was too, definitely. I didn't think that it was just going to be, I thought it was going to be a murder per show, kind of.
Yeah,
And-
That's exactly what I
very
thought.
procedural.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a Law and Order or something like that. And I like the fact that there's a storyline because you really get to see different characters develop. So.
Yeah, we get to go more in depth into these
Exactly,
characters.
yeah.
Which we normally don't get.
And I like how slow it's moving with turning Betty into a murderer. I mean, we're all assuming that's where it's going, I think.
Right.
She's got it in her.
From the first episode, I thought we were going to see her kill somebody by the end of the first episode. And then by this episode, I thought, well, we'll definitely see her kill somebody by the end of this episode. So it's taking its time, and it's
I like that.
I really enjoy that.
Me too, and I wasn't expecting it because the episode opened up immediately where it left off. So I thought,
Right.
oh, this chick's gonna be dead in 2 minutes, like before credits start, you know?
yeah.
So completely shocked me just because it started immediately as we left off. And usually it's like, oh, you're gonna keep the fast pace, and they're like, no,
Yeah.
we're gonna confuse you.
The pacing is really nice.
Yeah.
It's weird because sometimes it's fast on some things that you wouldn't expect it to be, but then it's slow on other things where it's like, oh man, I thought she was gonna be dead.
Yeah. There are questions I have, and we'll get through them because I feel like there's a couple of holes for me in the story. So, but maybe it's on purpose because it is episode 2. Maybe I'm asking for too much. It's like I want all the answers right now.
So needy, Muncie.
Seriously, I know. Maybe I'll take it back. There's no holes for me. Holes for me yet. Let's get into it. So we'll leave Kent, Betty, and Valerie, that whole crazy storyline. We'll leave that last. But I enjoyed Jack, Paco, and Karen. There was a lot of stuff that happened with Karen that I didn't understand why that had to happen.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I just didn't understand how that progressed the story. How
Yes.
that
Right.
did anything to anything. But we immediately like find out, she's scared. She runs to her workplace because she escapes the club. Remember,
Smart.
They don't know where she's at. Right. And she's with Diver, and she's like, hey, I kind of want to...
Awesome name,
right,
by the way.
I know.
Because they didn't say his name the first episode. We didn't know who he was.
Oh, he actually does, and I thought he was calling him something else.
Yeah.
But he says Diver super fast. I thought he was calling him like a bad name.
Yeah, that's exactly when first episode, I was like, what's a diver? Oh, it's his name.
Yeah. So, got it. Crazy name. I know. It's Diver Hawks is actually the name.
Appropriate.
So, I know. I was like, that's cool. I would have called him Hawks.
Top Gun character.
Yeah. And she tells him, like, hey, I want to go home. I'm nervous. Like, I don't like this. He's after me. I came here, I am gonna leave. And he's like, no. But of course, Jack and Paco show up not long after because she went back to her work. What are you doing?
She's a smart girl.
Yeah.
Smart girl.
And she ends up writing a story about it.
Yeah.
As a writer, like, she is so nose to the grindstone. Like, I don't know a single person who just like gets things done immediately and doesn't procrastinate and have to watch TV for 10 hours before you start working on an assignment. Like, she's a go-getter.
Different time.
Yeah.
I will say this. There was the last episode and this episode, I saw some criticism online about the like fashion and hair of the time, like all the things that they're doing that's really good about the era, the music, and like different references and stuff. That's all on point. But I would really love to see Karen, like, either big hair,
Feathered bangs.
Right.
yeah, or if not big hair, like, because in '82 the whiskey was a punk club. It was still in its punk phase. So like, let's see some purple or something. But she's the only one that like really hair wise like
that
kind
doesn't
of
look
takes me out of the era a little
Right.
bit.
I thought that too. But the only thing I was thinking, maybe because she's a nurse, they're trying to like tone her down a little.
I'm talking about Karen.
I'm talking about
Karen.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. No, that's true.
I mean, especially because she's 21, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
like, she would be the hippest. She's the hippest of all of them. So she should let's see a Black Flag T-shirt or something.
I
little
thought
plain.
that. I didn't even go into that much detail, but you're right. She is very not part of everyone else's.
I think kind of all of them aren't really. I think the only one that kind of has like the 80s hair is Betty.
Betty
Like
a
when she
little.
goes out, she got the perm, the bangs going.
Mallory had it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
she was kind of she was kind of
But I
big.
think that I agree with you on that. Like, I'd like to see more of that because I get taken out of the story. And it's like small things like, oh, their kitchen's so retro, or the typewriter. That's what brings me back to, oh, right, it's 1982.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they want Karen to do a sketch for them because she knows what he looks like. But Diver does not think that the officers, these detectives, have the best intentions at hand. So he does kind of create a little bit of a tension, but that leads to Diver and Paco creating a friendship. How did you feel about that friendship?
I think it's really interesting that both of them who, Detective Roth thinks is kind of shady, now
Right.
they're, forming a
Together.
partnership. Exactly. So I think I want to see where that goes. I want to see exactly how kind of sketchy they both get.
And how that affects Roth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you see, with that, do you guys see Paco turning on Jack?
See, I kind of want him to either do something. I mean, he was helpful to Jack in this episode.
Very helpful, yeah.
I kind of want him to either stab Jack in the back, not literally, but like, like do something, crappy, or continue to like do something really amazing that really helps Jack's career, because it's kind of, this episode, I'm like, why are you still so like hateful to this guy? Like, he is helping you out.
Yeah, well, see, now you sound like me. You're asking for too much episode 2. Maybe there's more history that we don't know about.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm hoping
That's
to get,
true.
is all
Yeah.
the story behind
Right.
that. And, I think right now we're kind of getting him sort of trying to redeem himself almost, and be like, oh, I'm going to try to be nice, or, at least be, play along, and
Right.
like take all of his meanness,
Yeah.
So until we get the story, I think we'll
That's
get
true.
that.
He's taking it for a reason because he's not fighting it. He's just
Exactly.
letting him talk to him
Yeah,
like that.
that's true. He is
Feels it
taking
for
it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there's probably more story for show. But he does get a name out of him. In that friendship that they created in those 3 minutes, they got the name Bucket. He asked him about the Coke. He's like, where's this come from? They get the name Bucket. So they go look for Bucket, and they find him. Bucket is not alone.
No. Bucket is not alone.
Bucket is not alone. He is with Diane. Now remember, guys, Diane is the undercover cop that is also sleeping with Jack and is trying to find the head drug dealer. And she's been on this undercover for a year. It seems like she makes a comment about it. She's there and she gets arrested. By
You can
Paco.
tell, just behind her eyes, she is really?
Yeah.
Really?
She's got that girl face.
Yes, exactly.
I love her character, by the way.
too.
Yeah,
Me too.
she's fun.
Yeah, she's so good. She has a slight accent.
She has an accent that's where. Yeah,
Where's that from?
It's where.
Where's that from?
Ambiguous accent.
Yeah, but it's so slight you almost don't catch it, and I like that about it. That it's so subtle. I hope we find out where she's from. I hope it's something. I hope it's more than just maybe it's just her. Maybe that's just the actress. Which hey, good for you. But maybe there's more to it. Maybe she comes from somewhere that we don't know. But she gets arrested, and Bucket's like, "Hey, it's a lady. Don't take her like that. Bucket, calm down. All right, you got other stuff to worry about."
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to say much, but Jack plays hardball, as we've noticed, and gets another name, Angie.
The
Angie.
dancer. The dancer for MTV.
Yeah.
I love
Which is never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
that was the best line. That's
Of
never
course,
gonna work.
that's never going to work. Who's going to watch
Who's
that?
gonna watch that? Yeah.
Nobody.
So off they go to an MTV music video shooting, it seems like. And Jack again likes to play hardball. That blonde, long-haired director. What are you doing? It is the 80s. I forgot.
Yeah.
That man.
Best 80s hair of the episode.
Yes. Yeah. You
He
won.
committed.
And the earring. He had the earring.
He did have an earring.
God.
Just everything about that. And speaking about fashion, if you think about it, Jack actually doesn't look very 80s.
No, he just
Jack,
has the Miami Vice kind of
Yeah.
jacket, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think he's not supposed to be super hip. He's supposed to be a dad. Even though he's kind of a player, he's supposed to be like a dad.
A dad.
So
Right.
not super cool.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But they stop the shooting and everything, or the filming of it, and they get to talk to Angie, and they also find out Mallory's alive. Now, we all know she's still alive. They just had no idea, because last they knew, she was off with the killer.
Yeah, and it's already what?
Yeah, she had a song dedicated to her. According to them, she should be dead.
Right.
So they now are fully aware. Girl is alive and kicking. She's just got a couple of scratches on her head, and that's why, on her forehead, and that is why she couldn't be there, because she was supposed to be there filming or shooting with her. So they're on their mission to find her.
By the way, when Betty is stitching the wound on her head, she tastes the blood.
Yeah. When she
Yeah.
initially touches it, yes.
something
That's
disgusting
exactly what I
every
wrote.
episode.
Yes.
And that was, those are my favorite things that Betty does. And so I was hoping to see more of that weirdness this episode, but that tasting the blood thing was pretty creepy.
Yeah, and subtle.
Yeah,
They do
Health
it
101,
subtly,
you
but
do not taste somebody's blood. You do not know where they've been.
right. Where did you go to nursing school, girl? 'Cause,
I
that
mean,
can't be
that's not
right.
even it's just such an odd.
Right?
It's
She's
so odd
like, this
thing
is
to
a
do.
type B.
Exactly.
Just taste this.
And she did it so nonchalantly, like it was not a big deal.
Yeah.
And Ken was like, oh, girl.
Sucking on it, yeah.
Ken's got issues.
Yeah.
And the way they're going to find her is because of this cut. They go to hospitals to see, she's had to be stitched somewhere. So with them, they take the sketch that Karen had. They are giving names. Mallory, this guy, we're looking for them. If you
love
have any
that.
information. And Betty's in the background, just what is this? What is this? Comes across this sketch, which for me, I thought the sketch was crap. I was like,
Yeah.
It was kind of stick.
this is a joke, right?
Which was kind
Yeah.
of crap.
Yeah, I just was like, who did this? A 7-year-old? I did not. I thought that took me out of it.
I thought it looked like him.
I did.
It's just the eyes, kind of like they said.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
they
look at the
said.
eyes, but that's
Because,
about
well,
it.
When you see sketch artist renderings, they're never perfectly
Perfect, right.
accurate.
Right.
But it looked a little elementary.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
You know?
I was not a fan of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It seemed this whole episode that Jack and Paco, were right along parallel to what Kent was kind of doing. Because after they go to the hospital, they get her address, and then they find out that somebody else has already gone to her address, because they're like, no, she had a visitor. And then they start to put 2 and 2 together, that they're kind of right there with him. They're at least on the same page. They might not be on the same sentence or paragraph, but they're on the same page. And Jack, runs into Diane after she comes out of jail. I was like, slap him.
Yeah.
She
goes off. She did verbally.
She goes off.
Yeah. Told him.
And she was just like, basically, your work is not more important than mine, dude. Like, sorry. And he even said, he was like, you're looking for a drug dealer. I'm looking for like a killer. She's like, the drugs kill more people in a week than your killer. Yeah. I was like, you go, girl. But she should have real slapped him. That's all I'm gonna say. I wish that would have happened. And she makes the comment, go live your life while you still have one, or go whatever. Right. Next scene,
alluding to probably the wife and
that was the next scene. He was cooking breakfast, listening to the coroner's tape, like all that good stuff. So I was just like, really? I don't care about Jack and his family. I don't believe it. That's just me. Like, I just don't believe it. I don't know about you guys.
There's not a lot there for me to care. I'm just like, okay, he has another life. Clearly something happened during the Hillside Strangler case that, affected his relationship with his family. Okay, but I kind of feel like I've seen that a lot.
Right. I'm kind of with you. Like, I feel like I wish they did something a little more with the family, or at least with the wife, that made the stakes a little higher, like made you feel for her a little more, like the first episode we kind of saw like, oh, she knows something's going on, but I wish there was something more, like where you just really want to invest in her, but I just don't care.
I mean, I like the wife, like she, I feel really bad for her is the thing. Like when she said the comment about, like she was making the joke about like pancakes and, anal contusions, and like he just kind of like, it's such an insult when somebody doesn't acknowledge your joke, I just feel bad for her.
Yeah, I just am like, if you were to, in the next episode, say Jack's divorcing, we're never going to see them again, I'd be like, all right, that's cool. Like, I'd just be okay with that.
Right.
But they're right on the cusp of catching him, because when they intercept that call, when he, pretending to be Detective Costello, calls Mallory's home, just trying to see if she's there, and they're already there tapping the phone call. I was super shocked about that.
Yeah. I kind of thought something creepy was going to happen with the roommate, which I sort of would have liked.
I thought that too.
Totally
I totally wanted there to be another prey. I was like, all right. But
take it a different way.
I know. I was like, okay, let's see where that goes too.
Yeah, he was creepy. The roommate alone. Are you going to join forces for like a second, for like a split second?
Man.
But I was shocked about that.
That they were tapping it?
That they were already tapping it.
Yeah.
Like, this whole episode just really threw me like 7 curveballs and stuff that I did not understand. But yeah, they intercept, and the technology, talking about how they keep things real, keep you in the moment, how it's so old, like they show you. I think we figured out, because he was on the phone for several seconds. Like today, that would have been enough time to tell you exactly where you are, what you just had to eat 5 seconds ago. And then they have the like the diagram with the 2 circles, and he's like
using a computer.
Yeah,
a big deal.
It's like, I think I pinged it over here, so it's narrowed it down. It was so complicated. Something today that is just...
He's like on the IBM, blah, 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 blah. And that is about it,
And then the detective that had to throw in the boob joke at the computer.
Right.
Like, it was the printout was 2 circles, and so like barely looked like boobs. Like, I feel like this guy is just like, y'all ever notice how the number 100 looks like boobs? Yeah. It didn't look like boobs.
No.
Like, if you want to throw in that joke, like, at least have something that looks like boobs.
And this is the point where it's like, oh, you guys were so close to catching him. Now you no longer are. Even though they get the information that she works at Hamburger Heaven. One of those two. Yeah. Paco goes there. Jack goes to the upholstery area, which is where Kent works. Did we know that he had a job in episode 1? I'm glad he has a job.
We mentioned that the last show. We were like, where's his money coming from?
Right. So he has a job.
I don't even think Betty knows what he does.
Right. Yeah. But now we know he works with cars, and that's how he's able to keep his car
reupholster.
Clean and not worried about any blood or any stuff that goes in his car. but he's already ahead of the game. He's already picked her up at the hamburger place, and Jack does go to the upholstery, whatever his workplace is called, and he sees like a bucket or like a big box, and he's like, it's like intent, where you think there's gonna be a body, and then there's not, and then of course a creaky wood floor, and there's a body, with a note. Yeah, you not a fan?
No.
She was not a fan.
Yeah. Right when that happened, I was like, what?
Her face was like, to me,
I was just like, where did that body come from all of
exactly.
a sudden? It was just kind of out.
Where's the body from? Why is it just laying there? Like, you weren't going to cover that girl up?
Why is it decomposed?
Right.
Like, is this one of his other?
Exactly.
And they didn't really seem to care. Like, he cared more that Kent was sticking it to him more so than, oh, somebody's dead. So, like, are we going to find out the next episode who it is?
Right. And they're so convinced that it was Mallory. I was like, really? 2 and 2 together? Mallory was alive 2 seconds ago.
And now she's all decomposed.
No, that's not even the right hair color, is it? I don't know.
I don't think this has anything to do with it, but, like, the next scene when it showed Betty, she was in, like, a pink cardigan, kind of like what the corpse was in for a second. So, for a split second, I don't think this had anything to do with it, but I was like, why? I thought for a minute that the corpse was dressed like Betty.
So maybe he took Betty's clothes because he was at Betty's.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's why you say that. I first thought it was Jack's wife.
Oh.
Like, initially, but then I was like, this body, is this a real body? Like, when they first went in there, like, the way it just looked, the sweater, the hair, it looked, I was like, is that his wife? And then I was like, is this a fake body? Or is this, what is this? I'm I'm really confused. Yeah. Never did I think it was Mallory, but it has a note on it.
Right. And how was that there so quickly? And, you know?
Like, Jack has a lot of time, apparently.
Do you also travel time?
Stuff.
I don't...
I mean, he's everywhere.
Yeah. He is right place at the right time, dude.
All the time.
Always. Yeah.
Can go get a body real quick and...
Apparently. Gosh. And dress it up.
And write a note.
With the confusion of that body, because we all seem to be a little bit, what are you talking about? I'm trying to look, because thank you, this gives me the perfect opportunity to say thank you for tuning in, thank you for commenting. Somebody left a comment on our video with an interesting theory. And I kind of remember it, but I wish I could find it. Basically, this person, I'm going in to see if I can find it, was saying that they thought there was a copycat killer. So there's Kent, and then there's another one that we're not aware about yet.
Very good theory. Very good.
Interesting.
And I was like, that, after watching today's episode, here it is, J-Boy. Thank you for commenting. I think there's a serial killer and then a copycat killer, which watches the TV and is also the babysitter. And, and long live Billy Idol. Yes, of course. That's important too.
Rebel.
That maybe we might come across something like that, because I am so confused.
He's so quick.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just how
too quick.
Yeah.
How are you working? How are you hunting down a girl? How are you?
Exactly. Because this episode, he was like looking for Mallory. Where did you get this girl from? How did you get this note in?
Talking to the roommate.
Changing clothes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I barely got laundry done today, and it's Wednesday. I can't.
And that's
putting in a full shift. Putting in a full shift at the upholstery place. Yeah.
Driving on LA. We all know LA traffic.
Right? Don't play.
Come on.
Don't play. So, J-Boy, you might be onto something. And thank you to everybody else who commented. We all enjoy reading these. It inspires us to create, think a little harder next time, because that was smart. Yeah. We should have thought of that already. And then Paco and Jack have that moment, because Jack's like feeling like it's his fault that he was too late, and it's like, no, dude, this is not your fault. This goes clearly beyond what you think, what we think. And then we see Karen in bed with Driver. What's his name? Diver. Whatever his name is.
Yeah, that meant nothing to me.
I didn't know. I was like, am I the only one that didn't see this coming? Because I didn't see any
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see anything. And that kind of threw me for a loop, and I didn't get it.
I didn't care for it.
No, I didn't care.
It didn't do anything for me. I wasn't like, oh, yes, finally. No, I don't care. What?
It just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
And it's like, he says, I don't want you to leave, and I really want to get it on with you, whatever. And she rolls her face like, ugh, and it's just like, yes, exactly. Ugh, don't get in bed with him. But then you tell me. Literally, just was like, that reaction you just gave him is
Right?
not what you're doing right now.
Right?
Right? Like, no. That was against it. But they're in bed, and she makes a comment about, oh, and I had to get your own mail, because he gets his mail, and there's mail for her. And it's from the killer. See, he's writing letters? No.
I don't get it.
When did he have time?
Just no time.
When?
And written, and the envelope written by the little girl.
By,
Because
Yeah, it
remember
was
she says
written
that
like
she
that.
has a problem with her R's. She writes
Yeah.
it backwards.
Yeah, right, that's
So
true.
the little, he had the
Good
little
picking
girl
up on that.
Yeah.
wrote the name on the envelope, which also too was, I don't know. It was like just kind of haphazardly thrown in there. Like, why would the little girl? I don't know.
Right.
Not that she knew what she was doing, but
Right.
just like, I don't know.
But maybe that could come into play, though.
I guess
You
so.
know, like
Like,
that's a name that you have to
babysitting her to do
remember.
that.
Yeah. And he it's funny, I didn't catch the R's because Diver does say you have a 7-year-old pen pal. He makes the comment about the writing.
Yeah.
I just didn't look at the writing, but I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, so how do you have time? Kent? What are you doing? Like, how do you please give us your secret?
Maybe the little girl is his co-conspirator.
Yeah, but she's gotta be able to drive.
The
Like,
little girl is the one that's
all right, let's talk about Kent now. Kent
Golly.
and Betty. We start the episode, which like I mentioned, appreciate right where we left off. They are literally walking out of the bar, and they're driving away. That scene when he's driving away, Jack is on the phone. Hey, need to get a PBA for this person. We are looking for this guy, this height, and he's just looking at him as he drives on.
Look up.
I know. I was like, all you had to see is look up right now, and I thought that was so
But
good.
either way, even if he saw him, he wouldn't know who he is, though, at that
Right.
point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think,
Ugh,
but it was
good
just
moment.
like if I was a cop and I'm like on a call and somebody stared at me as I was doing that, I'd be like, hold on, I got some. Like, clearly you're looking at me for a reason. So I thought I actually thought eye contact, and then he was gonna be like, there he goes, and then can't catch him type of thing. But no, he never saw him. But I thought that was pretty dope. And Mallory's in the trunk. They got me there, guys. The whole acting thing,
Yeah.
Mallory, they got me.
Yeah,
was
I
like,
didn't see that coming.
that was fun. I enjoyed that she was
because she's in the
was into
trunk
it.
and she's like screaming, yelling, and even Betty's like, guys, she's like, I don't know if I can do this. I didn't think about this. I don't know. He's like, no, you're fine. Like telling her what she wants to hear, keeping it real suave, keeping it, nice, stupid, and handsome. I guess
Per usual.
per usual, right? And they open the trunk and she's like screaming bloody murder. Then Betty pulls her out. She hits her head, and it's like, oh, my head.
Yeah.
You guys, I really wanted to, I just blew the moment.
I jumped the moment, yeah.
And I was totally into it, like, because you're a producer, right? You felt it, and it was like, oh, that's how this came into play. Because I was like, how did you get her to do this? Like,
I don't know. I would never get in someone's trunk.
no, I just did it yesterday.
No.
It got me from point A to point B real easily,
Real quick.
Yeah, that's. 1982. Clearly, guys, we have no idea what exactly it was to be in that time, because it seems normal.
That's how you audition. And no,
guess.
that's not.
Is that what you got it? No.
I mean, if a producer asks you to get into the trunk, you get into the trunk.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Awesome.
do? But they keep the fun going. They go to the bedroom, and Betty gets real kinky.
Yeah, real fast.
That first kiss with Mallory, and she's kind of like freaked out by a kiss, and then 5 minutes later she's going down on her.
Yeah.
Tying her up real tight.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And doing exactly what he did to her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was like, shh, with the knife.
Yeah.
She's tied up.
Yeah. I mean, she
And-
wanted to do what she thought he would get off of.
And
you know,
did
exactly.
he? Because he thoroughly enjoyed watching.
Yeah, and he even
All
kind of
this.
seemed surprised by it.
A little bit.
Yeah, he was like, oh.
I like this.
Oh. I mean, I liked it when I did it, but a lot of people not that either.
Yeah. It's like you can just tell how much she just worships the ground that he walks on,
Yeah.
and she wants to
Totally.
do anything to keep this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything.
She's smitten.
Yeah.
And he kind of is too. Like, I actually think he's just as into it as her. Like, about her. You know what I mean?
See,
But-
that's what I can't figure out.
I can't figure that out
figure
either.
out if he actually is into her, or if he's just still playing the game of I'm telling you what you want to hear, I'm, you know, even like revealing like I want you to see all of me, or however he said it. Like I'm not sure if he's still saying that to like, you know, tell her what she wants to hear, or because he actually feels that way. I can't tell.
I think that he definitely wants her to be like his partner in crime. I think that's kind of what it is. And I think he's kind of like, oh my goodness, this girl's totally down for anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's more, I don't know if he's so much like, I like this girl so much, or I love this girl, or whatever. But I think he's kind of like, oh, let's push the limits.
Right. And it's also probably the first situation he's been in where he has a girl that has kids, too. And that obviously affects him so much, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their freakiness is over, because freakiness goes on. It ends, and he wants to take Mallory home. Betty's like, no, let's call her an Uber. Just lay here with me. And he's like, okay, I'll lay 1 minute. But they fall asleep, because obviously, after you do freaking things, you fall asleep. You're tired. So they fall asleep. And they wake up, Mallory's gone.
Peaced out.
Another shocking moment. I was like, where's Valerie?
Peace.
I thought this chick was going to be dead 10 minutes ago in this episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I was so shocked and that she was gone.
She did the walk of shame out of there real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Did that take place? Did that menage a trois take place in Betty's house? Was that Betty's house? Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until
Yeah.
the notepad said
Number
what did it
one
say?
mom.
Yeah. And so
Right.
I was like, oh, they just did that.
Because that was my first thought. When she got real freaky all of a sudden, like, even with the first kiss, I was like, oh, girl, where's your kiss?
Oh, hide your kids. Hide your
Think
wives.
of the children.
Think of the
Gosh.
Well, the good thing is they do it very quietly because they got to pretend to be dead.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And then she takes that knife and chops up dinner for them.
she cares, guys. She cares. She's doing it quietly.
Oh, God.
But when they wake up, she's all like, she was a little cray about Mallory. Why do you guys so much about? He doesn't, yo. He's barely even. He's just like, I thought she kind of overreacted a little bit, but you know, like we're saying, she's so just into him, smitten by him, that any threat is probably going to put her off.
See, now, I thought, because the whole jealousy thing kind of started getting me, like, a little, like, weirded out by her, I kind of thought that it was going to turn into her getting so jealous that she goes and
kill Mallory.
Yes, and then that kind of came up, and that would be, like, a thing, but that didn't happen. But I really wanted that.
That, you know what? That
deep down
could happen.
You know what I mean? Because she was
That
a little
could
crazy jealous. I
happen,
mean, they're making a point, obviously, to show that she's a little too jealous. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, calm down, girl. What are you really sad about?
She did go overboard at that point, I thought, about Mallory. But then when she does come to his house later, like, she did, like, I feel like that was the opportunity to, like, really take it out on him, to, like, really, and she doesn't, I wanted her to get more mad than she did, even though she did say lose my number, but, like, I wanted her to get more mad. So I felt like she was a little pulled back at that point, and then a little over the top at when Mallory left the bedroom.
Yeah. Maybe. I just
She's
felt
just always giving Mallory side eye. Like, even from the top of the show, when they're in the car, she gives the meanest side eye I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So as we were saying, Kent's so busy, he goes off to look for her, but, you know, says what she wants to hear, tells her it's not about Mallory, I'll see you later, kisses her, says all the right things. And goes to where she's staying. That's where we meet that creepy roommate. And we find out he is now Detective Costello. That is his name. He's looking for Mallory, and the roommate's like, she's not here, give me your number. He's like, no, you give me your number.
Dude, if I were Kent, I would forget what name I gave to what person I was talking to.
Yeah.
Like, that's gotta be hard to remember. But maybe he's, you know, a lot of serial killers are geniuses.
That's his
maybe
thing.
That's one of his things. But
I mean, if he's gotten away with it this long, he knows what he's doing. You know?
Well, he probably just has his, like, names that he knows when to use. So you don't, you know, like, people have their fake names. You know, friends, they do it.
Yeah. Jennifer, nice to meet you.
I love the flirting.
Yeah, like, it's just...
With the roommate.
So subtle. So subtle and a little creepy, and I loved it.
I thought
loved
you were an actor or a model.
He just
I like to be in control. Ooh,
like,
those are
constantly.
Yeah, and it's like, I liked that because it was like, not only can he sweet talk a lady,
He can do it too.
he can do it to a gentleman. Like, he just knows how to sweet talk you. I'm not gonna lie. I might be like, all right, that's cool. That's cool.
Get in the trunk. All right. You're right. It's efficient. It's efficient.
All right. You want to talk? Okay. I am just saying. But Detective Costello, like we were saying, is kind of getting caught. His call is being intercepted, and all that good stuff. He does not like Betty visiting. When she visits, he's not nice. And she calls him out. She's like, why are you being so cold to me?
Like, why can't I see your place?
Yeah.
That should be a hello, Betty, another red flag.
Yeah.
He will not let you into his place, you know?
And she says, what are you hiding? But, like, still, that's exactly what I mean. Like, she should have gotten mad.
Go find out, girl. You're right there.
Yeah.
It's like, what? How far away is that?
She doesn't know what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
She can't go into his place.
But she meets Mary. And that, that right there for her was probably...
I guess.
Because Mary says, girl to girl, he's an awesome guy.
And that kind of threw me for a second, because I was like, I don't know if a 9-year-old in 82 would say he's awesome. It was just a little piece of vernacular that I don't know if that's something a kid would have said at that point. I don't think awesome came into a kid's vernacular at that point, but maybe.
Yeah, I had a couple of those with Karen and Diver. Like, sometimes when they talked, I was like, it seems a little hip, you know? Right. Yeah, but I totally feel you.
Definitely between them. But yeah, like you mentioned, she says, lose my number, and she drives away. But she does it not dramatic. Like, I mean, she does freak out. She's like, they're looking for Mallory because she has a sketch with him. She's like, why are they looking for you? Why are they looking for Mallory? What is all this? And then he's like, what'd they say about Mallory? Mallory!
Yeah.
See, my whole thing was, why didn't she go to the cops?
That's, okay, is that how you guys would have reacted?
Yes, I would have gone to the cops and been like, hey.
Exactly. Exactly. But already from the get-go, she's already taking his side, and she's like, let me fold this up.
Yeah.
I think it looks like you. What?
I mean, think about it. What you've seen her do, it's not like she's normal, but would you have done half of the stuff she's already done at that point?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, it's already different.
Yeah.
She's already invested. And I also think part of it, I think she was like, I was there. I could get in trouble.
Right.
So there was other factors to it.
She wanted to figure out why they were looking for him.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So she confronts him, but they end up breaking up for like 5 minutes. And then he does show up at her work because, every girl loves that. Just waiting by her car. And she loves it. Like, her face lights up when she sees her car.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing here? But there's like a smile. It's not like, what are you doing here? It's like, what are you doing here?
You're surprising me.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, she saw it as a positive.
And then he recites, Play-Doh to her. Putty in hand.
But it's moments like that where, like I said, I'm not sure if Kent is, like, actually into her or just playing the game. Because she's all smiles at that point. And then she turns to, like, get in the car, and then it shows Kent, and, like, his smile just drops, and he just, like, walks to the car, like, stone-faced. So I'm like, okay, so he doesn't really care about her. Like, he's just going through the motions. So, but then, letting somebody see you be a murderer spells I love you.
See, that's
I
why
don't know.
I think he
I'm going
wants
back and
like
forth.
a sidekick, like a partner in crime.
Right.
I think that is something totally new to him. Yeah.
I'm with you. I agree. He wants a partner. I'm 100%, but I think he genuinely likes her. Like, I also think he's into her because it's not his first rodeo. Like, so it's something different. So he knows she's interested. He's already tested the waters. She has kids. So I do think that there's genuine feelings involved, and that he wants a partner in crime, that he wants somebody to go through this with.
Especially now that he sees that she likes these things, He's like, oh, you're enjoying this.
Right. I mean, when he stops her at her job, or when he shows up to surprise her, he says, like, let me tell you everything. Let me show you. Let me let you in.
Yeah.
So they go back to his spot, to where it all started in episode 1. Goes to that, like, nice overview of LA. And it's very sweet. I was like, why isn't she screaming yet? Because they were talking, and then it was like, okay, let me open it, now start screaming. Why weren't you screaming earlier?
Yeah.
Right, so people could hear you in the trunk.
Exactly. I was like, really? The whole way there?
Yeah.
You just were chilling.
Right.
I mean, did she just think they were just playing a sex game again?
Well, he did give her those pills in the car, so maybe she was knocked out for most of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But then just coincidentally, the moment he opens,
right. She woke up. She's like, oh, there you are.
And this time, this is not playing. So, all of that. And she, like, he pulls her out, and it's like a struggle, like a real struggle with her, trying to get her in the car. And Betty's kind of like, doesn't really know what to do. And he says something like, she has to die for us to live.
Right, because she knows where
It's
you
like
live.
it reminded me of like Harry Potter, that like one can't survive
right.
whatever that line is.
Right.
Yeah, very like Shakespeare. What is it? Romeo and Juliet. Thank you. I was like, what is it? Very Romeo and Juliet type of thing too. Just, we have to kill her for us type of thing. He gets her in the car, and Susannah was like, I thought it should have ended on like a cliffhanger. And I was like, but to me, having Betty just watch him stab her to death, even though Susannah's like, but it came to a full circle. It's like, you're right. We killed her. Like, that's it.
I feel like that's just what you expected to happen. That was a natural. I wish there was like a small little twist or like just a little bit something or I don't know, just something. I wish something happened, but it was kind of just like, that's it. Like,
I was okay with it. I didn't mind. I thought the end was just intense, having her like watch feet away from outside of the car as he's just stabbing her to death, and you see like the blood spatter.
And
I was okay with that.
Isn't he like looking at her as he's? like it's like
eye contact,
like a dog humping something and looking at you. Like it was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And she doesn't do anything to like save the girl.
No.
She's just kind of like, okay, let's see where this goes.
She's like, you're right. I want to live.
Yeah.
I think Susannah, I agree that I would have liked to have seen her just some more dramatic of a reaction from her, either more shocked or more into it or more something. Like her expression was so unreadable, and that might be intentional. Like maybe at the very beginning of the next episode we might understand exactly what she was thinking, but she was I could not read what she was feeling or thinking at that moment. So
I just felt like the last couple minutes was kind of what we expected to happen in the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then it happened. So I was like, I was great that it was great that you surprised us the first time you gave us this little trick, and then you just gave it to us at the end. I was like, oh, well, that's all right.
Right. It's like, is everyone going to be this way? Are they always going to be at the same spot? Is that like the killing spot?
Yeah.
Those are really good questions that will lead us perfectly into predictions for next week and the following. We said 10 episodes, right? And we're on episode number 2. So let's see. What do you guys predict will happen? You can either go next episode. You can just go in general what will happen, because there's 8 episodes left, excuse me. But because right now, like you said, we ended on a full circle. Like he killed the girl. That's it. What's going to happen?
I think that since I've been expecting Betty to kill somebody at this point and she still hasn't, I'm wondering if the season's going to end and Betty still has never killed anybody. She's an accomplice in that she's witnessed a lot, but maybe she's actually going to be the whistleblower. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm wondering. My prediction is Betty's never going to kill somebody.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. I think in the beginning of the next episode, she's going to be kind of in shock and be like, I don't know if I can do this. And then maybe he almost tries to kill her. I don't know. But then she's like, okay, I can totally do this. Like, he'll sweet talk her, something like that. And I kind of see where you're going with that. I don't know if we'll ever see her actually kill. I think she'll be like an accomplice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think I can see her being an accomplice. I think it'll turn out to be... It'll be that she's just in a position where she can't say no, or like she just has to go along, or now that she's an accessory or whatever, she feels like she can't turn him in or turn against him. But we do kind of see, I don't know if you guys know, there's like that part in the preview where we see her like kind of like in the woods or something, like backing away, Right. So I don't know if maybe he like ends up turning on her, or like she ends up getting attacked somehow. So I don't know. Yeah.
So that's why I think she's gonna freak out, and then his easy thing is, I can just kill her.
Exactly. Yeah. He was like, well, if you don't like it, then that's okay.
Yeah.
I say she is shocked and gonna be on board much quicker than you guys are saying. I say she'll kill someone. Maybe it'll be the season finale of 1. Paco will backstab Jack because there's history that we are not aware of yet, and that's why I think it'll happen. Jack dies. Maybe part of that is because I know he's only in 5 episodes, but I'm gonna say he dies. I'm gonna say probably by Paco, maybe even trying to save Diane in some sort of confrontation.
Yeah,
but I don't see him making it.
His boring wife kills him.
Maybe I just don't. The only reason I would say no to that is because he's so much out in the force, like out on location.
Right.
Yeah.
He's never
not
around.
home enough to be murdered by his wife.
Exactly, and she's not the wife to like be out there. You know, like we in the 2 episodes. I'm just guessing. She seems like a pretty much stay-at-home mom type of thing. So I don't see that, even though that would be dope if it was like at home. I'm gonna kill you with this pill or something. But I know it's gonna be something else. Do you guys think Kent will ever get Karen?
No.
I don't think he's gonna kill Karen. I think he's gonna use Karen. I think Karen's kind of like he said. Like we have similar interests. You know, I think she's gonna end up telling his story pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think he's gonna kill Karen either. Or Karen.
Karen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna kill Karen either. No. But I do want to see him. I want to see more. Like I want to see him turn on Betty. Like just at least not like fully, but like just have little moments of like just reminder I could still kill you. Like I am dangerous.
Creepy.
With what you said about Karen helping him with the story, tell his story. Okay, so Karen will turn on Jack and Paco and not give them information.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think by her telling his story, she's almost gonna end up empathizing with him, or like just like being on his side almost.
That'd be rad. I'd be into that.
And she's gonna know stuff, and she's gonna be like, I don't know where he's at.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. She ain't going nowhere. She got a lot more diver coming.
And let's see some of that Aquanet, Karen. Spray that, girl. Get it big. Real big. Wings on the sides.
Just something. I agree. I think we covered everything. You guys, any last minute thoughts before we say goodbye? Before we give out Twitters? Anything? No? All right. If people want to tweet you and tell you and talk to you about the show, where can they tweet you guys? Go ahead.
You can tweet me at Brown Tamra on Twitter.
You can tweet me and find me on Instagram at Alina Vision.
You can tweet me at Susannah_Kim and follow me on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos. Monse spelled MONSE. Tweet us, please rate us, comment. We love reading your comments. We appreciate you tuning in. Give us your theories because this is taking so many turns we don't even know what to expect. No. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.